Every morning to change your life. Every morning you open your eyes, you are handed a gift, not a promise, not a guarantee, but a chance to step into the arena of life and decide who you will become today. Most people squander it. They wake up and immediately surrender to distraction, to fear, to worry, to the weight of yesterday. They drag their past into the present as if it were a chain around their neck. And so the cycle repeats. Another day lost, another opportunity wasted, another dream buried beneath the dust of routine. But there are a few who rise differently, a few who understand what Napoleon Hill meant when he said, "Our only limitations are those we set up in our own minds." These men and women begin their day not as prisoners of circumstance, but as architects of destiny. They don't wait for motivation to find them. They manufacture it in the silence of the morning. They take hold of their mind before the world has a chance to distract it. They declare who they will be before society tells them who they should be. Because here is the truth. The morning is not simply the beginning of a day. It is the foundation of your entire life. What you do with those first sacred moments decides the course of everything that follows. Just as a builder lays the cornerstone of a skyscraper with precision, you must lay the cornerstone of your day with intention. The careless builder creates a crooked foundation, and the higher he builds, the more unstable his creation becomes. But the wise builder starts with strength, with alignment, with clarity. And because of that, his structure touches the sky. Think of Edison rising before dawn, consumed with experiments that would shape the modern world. Think of Ford, working in the early hours, turning visions into machines that redefined human mobility. Think of Lincoln, whose mornings were filled with study, reflection, and the forging of a mind that could hold a divided nation together. These were not ordinary men because they did not treat their mornings as ordinary hours. They understood something most overlook. The way you begin is the way you continue. You cannot fill your mind with chaos at dawn and expect clarity by noon. You cannot wake with laziness and expect greatness by nightfall. The energy you release in the morning multiplies throughout the day, like ripples turning into waves. If you want success, then command your mornings. If you want strength, then train your will before the sun rises. If you want clarity, then silence the noise of the world and listen to the voice within. So, when you wake tomorrow, do not stumble blindly into the day. Stop, breathe. Remember, this is the hour of decision. Will you rise as a master of yourself, or will you crawl forward as a slave to habit? The choice is always yours, and the choice, repeated daily, becomes your destiny. To change your life, you must first change the way you begin your life each day. That first hour is sacred, yet most people trade it cheaply for noise, for gossip, for scrolling through the endless distractions designed to steal their future. They give away the throne of their mind before they've even taken their first step out of bed. And then they wonder why their days feel scattered, why their dreams feel unreachable, why their strength feels drained before the battle has even begun. The successful know better. They treat their mornings like warriors sharpen their swords. The first strike of the day must be made with precision. You do not wait for inspiration. You demand it. You create rituals that command your body, mind, and spirit to align with the vision you carry. You rise and remind yourself, I am not here to exist, I am here to expand. I am not here to drift, I am here to drive. Napoleon Hill wrote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But belief is not born in the noise of the crowd. It is born in the silence of the morning. When you wake, before the world touches you, you must speak life into your vision. You must picture the future as though it were already real. Imagine yourself stepping into the life you desire, not with timid hope, but with the certainty of a commander giving orders to his army. The subconscious mind is listening, and it obeys. What you impress upon it at dawn becomes the blueprint for everything that follows. Discipline begins here as well. A man who cannot govern his mornings cannot govern his destiny. Think of the soldier rising before the sun, training while the rest of the world sleeps. Think of the artist who greets the morning canvas with fresh hands, creating beauty while silence still reigns. Think of the entrepreneur who maps his strategy before the world has opened its eyes. They understand that self-mastery begins with small victories. The battle against the pillow, the resistance of fatigue, the pull of excuses. When you conquer these, you become unstoppable in the larger wars of life. Look to history and you will see the same pattern. Greatness was never built on convenience, but on discipline. Carnegie began his mornings in reflection and planning, ensuring his empire was guided not by accident, but by vision. Disney envisioned worlds long before others could see them, and he nurtured those visions in solitude before presenting them to the masses. Their mornings were not wasted, they were invested. And every investment compounded into results the world still reveres. You must also understand the power of gratitude at dawn. Gratitude is not weakness, it is strength. It turns scarcity into abundance, complaint into clarity, despair into determination. When you rise and immediately list what you are thankful for, you shift your state. You remind your mind that life is not against you, it is for you. Gratitude is the fuel of resilience. A man who begins his day in gratitude cannot be broken by the storms of the afternoon. He has already anchored himself to the deeper truth that even in struggle, there is opportunity, and even in pain, there is purpose. So, what should you do every morning to change your life? Begin by mastering the silence. Own the first minutes. Speak your vision. Affirm your strength. Cultivate gratitude. Discipline your actions. Do not wait for life to shape you. Shape life before it has the chance to resist you. This is not theory, it is law. The law of cause and effect, the law of sowing and reaping. You plant the seeds of your destiny in the soil of the morning, and what you plant is what you harvest. Every morning, you are not just waking up, you are stepping onto a battlefield. The enemy is not outside of you, it is within. Doubt, fear, laziness, hesitation. These invisible forces are waiting at the edge of your consciousness, ready to pounce the moment you let your guard down. If you rise without awareness, you will already be conquered before the day has begun. But if you rise with intention, if you meet these forces head on in the stillness of dawn, you will leave your house already victorious. Napoleon Hill taught that success comes to those who have a definiteness of purpose, a clarity so sharp it cuts through distraction. Where do you find that clarity? In the morning, when your mind is untainted by the demands of the world. This is when you must remind yourself of your why. Why are you here? Why do you strive? Why do you endure? The man who wakes without a purpose becomes a slave to circumstance. But the man who wakes with vision becomes the master of his fate. Picture this. Two individuals wake at the same hour. One rolls over, checks his phone, and immediately absorbs the fears of the world, the gossip of strangers, the illusions of comparison. He rises, but his spirit sinks. His day is not his own. It is already stolen. The other rises, stands tall, breathes deeply, and declares his intention. Today, I will grow stronger. Today, I will build. Today, I will move closer to the life I envision. His phone is silent, his distractions delayed. He commands his mind, and in commanding it, he commands his future. Tell me, who do you think will hold power at sunset? History rewards those who choose the second path. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, began his mornings in meditation, grounding himself in principles before ruling an empire. Benjamin Franklin sketched his mornings with questions. What good shall I do this day? He knew that greatness does not arrive fully formed. It is sculpted day by day, decision by decision, and each decision begins with the morning. Your morning must also be a place of vision. Close your eyes and see yourself already living the life you desire. Imagine the details so vividly that your subconscious cannot distinguish dream from reality. Do you want wealth? See yourself giving orders in your company, walking through the doors of your success. Do you want health? Picture the body you strive for, the energy surging through your veins. Do you want impact? Hear the voices of those you will inspire. See the legacy you will leave. The mind, once given an image, seeks to create it. The stronger the image, the stronger the drive to manifest it. And yet, vision without action is only fantasy. That is why the morning is also for decision. Decide before the chaos of the world invades what must be done. Write it, speak it, commit to it. The undisciplined wander through the day reacting to whatever appears. The disciplined move with purpose, striking deliberately like a sculptor's chisel against marble. Piece by piece, they carve greatness from the stone of their hours. Do not underestimate the small victories. Rising when you said you would, making your bed, exercising your body, feeding your mind with wisdom instead of poison. These are not trivial tasks. They are proof to yourself that you can be trusted, that your word to yourself is law. The man who breaks his own promises destroys his power. The man who keeps them becomes unstoppable. Understand this. Success is not one grand event, but 1,000 mornings stacked upon each other. It is the discipline of today multiplied by the discipline of tomorrow. It is the courage to win the morning again and again until destiny itself bows before your persistence. Every morning is a reset, a rebirth. The past cannot follow you unless you allow it. Yet, most people wake up carrying yesterday's failures on their shoulders, dragging them into the new day like a prisoner chained to regret. They replay the mistakes, they dwell on the losses, they let their minds marinate in what went wrong. And so today, becomes nothing more than a repetition of yesterday's weakness. But the man who rises with awareness understands yesterday ended last night. He greets the morning as a new battlefield, a fresh canvas, a chance to write a different story. He does not deny his past, but he refuses to be enslaved by it. He takes the lessons and leaves the weight. This is resilience. This is the secret of those who rise above. They begin again every single day with renewed determination. Consider Abraham Lincoln. He faced defeat after defeat in business, in politics, in personal loss. Most would have surrendered to despair. Yet Lincoln rose each morning with fresh resolve. He carried scars, yes, but he also carried vision. And eventually, he rose high enough to lead a divided nation. His mornings were not always filled with comfort, but they were filled with choice. The choice to try again. That is the power hidden in your mornings. The chance to try again, no matter what yesterday stole from you. And what of discipline? Discipline is not built in the heat of the afternoon when the world is watching. Discipline is forged in the quiet of dawn when no one is applauding, when no one is checking, when it is just you and the mirror. Do you rise when the alarm sounds, or do you betray yourself with excuses? Do you pick up the book or pick up the phone? Do you train your body or surrender to comfort? These are the moments when character is born. Thomas Edison was relentless with his mornings. He believed progress belonged to the man who worked when others rested. He failed thousands of times, but each morning he rose and tried again. His laboratory filled with sparks, his vision brighter than his setbacks. He was not waiting for motivation. He was motivated by his waiting vision. And because of that, the light bulb now illuminates our nights. Your morning is also the gateway to adaptability. Life will not unfold according to your script. Obstacles will rise. Plans will fall apart. Storms will come. But if you train your mind in the morning to expect challenge and to welcome growth, then nothing can break you. A storm does not frighten the oak tree that has strengthened its roots, and your roots are strengthened in those quiet hours before the noise begins. Use the morning to learn. Fill your mind with wisdom, not gossip. Feed your soul with vision, not distraction. Read the words of giants who walked before you, those who carved paths where none existed. Study their failures, absorb their persistence, borrow their courage. When you do this daily, you will find yourself standing taller, thinking sharper, moving bolder. Do not confuse busyness with progress. Many rise and rush, their mornings filled with frantic activity. They confuse motion with momentum. But true progress begins with clarity. Take those first sacred minutes to ask yourself, what truly matters today? What actions align with my highest purpose? What distractions must I eliminate? A man who begins with clarity moves like an arrow toward his target. A man who begins in confusion spends his day chasing shadows. And above all, remember this: the morning is not a chore. It is a privilege. Millions never lived to see this day, yet you did. You have been granted another sunrise, another breath, another chance. Treat it with reverence. Treat it with awe. Life owes you nothing, and yet here it is, waiting for your command. Action is the heartbeat of the morning. Vision without action is nothing more than a dream whispered into the void. You can spend hours imagining success, meditating on your goals, visualizing abundance. But until your body moves, until your hands work, until your mind executes, nothing changes. This is why the masters of life begin with decisive action. They rise, they move, they strike while the world sleeps, and by the time the masses awaken, the victory is already in progress. Discipline and action are inseparable. The man who waits for the perfect moment will wait forever. The man who rises before dawn, who forces his body to move, who compels his mind to plan, writes the first chapter of his triumph before anyone else has even opened their eyes. Think of Ford, designing engines in the quiet hours, turning sketches into machines that would carry millions. Think of Carnegie, mapping investments while the streets were still empty. The world remembers the results, but the world never sees the silent mornings that made them inevitable. And now, consider belief, the unshakable, unwavering conviction that you are capable of achieving what others call impossible. Belief is forged in the solitude of the morning, in those moments when no one else is watching. It is strengthened when you rise with purpose despite fatigue. It grows when you feed your mind with possibility and your heart with courage. A man who believes in himself before breakfast carries a fortress of certainty into the chaos of the day. Doubt may knock at the door, but belief is the iron that keeps it shut. Clarity is the companion of belief. Know your purpose. Know the life you intend to lead. Do not stumble through the day like a ship without a rudder. Set your mind, chart your course, and let no triviality shake your resolve. Napoleon Hill said that a definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Without it, action is scattered, energy is wasted, and opportunity slips like sand through unready fingers. But with it, a single thought can move mountains. A single decision can change history. Adaptability, too, is forged in these hours. You will face setbacks. The world will test you. Plans will fail. But the man who practices mental flexibility in the morning is ready for any storm. He bends without breaking. He pivots without losing direction. He understands that success is not rigid. It is resilient. And resilience begins when you train your mind to embrace change before it is forced upon you. The morning is also a laboratory for gratitude and perspective. Begin by acknowledging the gifts you have. The body that rises, the mind that thinks, the opportunities that lie ahead. Gratitude is not passive. It is an active power that rewires your thinking, amplifies your energy, and sharpens your focus. The man who begins his day in gratitude sees obstacles as lessons, setbacks as redirection, and challenges as proof that he is alive and capable. Learning is the compass that guides every morning. Feed your mind with ideas, strategies, and insights. Read the words of the giants, Carnegie, Edison, Lincoln, Disney, and let their triumphs and failures be your classroom. Knowledge, when applied, transforms into wisdom. Wisdom, when acted upon, transforms into power. Power, when disciplined, transforms into destiny. Each morning is a chance to step closer along that path. And finally, remember that the smallest victories compound into the greatest triumphs. Making your bed, drinking water, stretching your body, Planning your day, writing your goals, speaking your intentions aloud. These may seem trivial, but they are the signals you send to yourself. I can be trusted. I am a person of action. I honor my potential. Every successful person in history began by winning the small battles before claiming the monumental victories. Now imagine this. Tomorrow morning, you rise, and instead of succumbing to distraction, you take command. You breathe deeply, feel the pulse of life through your veins, and declare silently, yet with ferocious conviction, "This day belongs to me. My mind is my kingdom. My actions are my army. My vision is my law." You feed your mind, strengthen your body, align your spirit, and step into the world not as a follower of circumstance, but as the creator of destiny itself. Every great person in history understood this truth. The man who wins the morning wins the day. He does not wait for luck. He manufactures it. He does not wait for opportunity. He creates it. He does not drift. He drives. His mornings are deliberate, his actions intentional, his life unstoppable. Edison's brilliance was not a product of chance. It was the accumulation of disciplined mornings filled with experimentation, failure, reflection, and relentless action. Lincoln's wisdom did not appear overnight. It was carved in mornings spent in study and contemplation before the world demanded his decisions. Disney's imagination did not bloom in leisure. It was nurtured in mornings where the impossible was drawn, erased, and drawn again until it became real. You are capable of the same. Every sunrise is a blank page. Every morning, a chance to script your life in bold strokes. The secret is simple, yet profound. Rise with intention, act with purpose, think with clarity, believe with certainty, and embrace gratitude and resilience. The world may try to steal your focus, to dilute your vision, to drown your ambition in noise. But the man or woman who masters their morning carries an invisible armor that no storm can penetrate. Do not be fooled by the illusion of complexity. Success is rarely a single miraculous moment. It is the compound effect of countless mornings where discipline overcame comfort, clarity overcame confusion, vision overcame doubt, and action overcame hesitation. Each day you rise with purpose. Each choice you make with intention. You are adding bricks to the foundation of a life few dare to live. You are building a fortress of possibility that no external force can destroy. And in those mornings when you stumble, when fatigue tugs at your eyelids, when the comfort of surrender whispers your name, remember this: the giants of history were ordinary men and women who did extraordinary things simply because they refused to give up. They rose when others slept. They acted when others hesitated. They persisted when others faltered. They understood, as you must, that the life you desire begins the moment you decide to take control of the day, every day, without exception. So rise tomorrow with fire in your chest and steel in your mind. Command your morning, and the rest of your life will obey. Speak to your vision as though it is already reality. Train your mind as though it is a weapon. Move your body as though it is the engine of your dreams. Fill your heart with gratitude, resilience, and unwavering belief. Let your mornings be more than a ritual. Let them be a declaration. I will not drift. I will not doubt. I will rise. I will conquer. I will create the life I am capable of living. And when the sun reaches its zenith, when the noise of the world begins to press against you, you will already be fortified, because you mastered what most ignore, because you claimed what most waste, because you understood the most powerful truth Napoleon Hill ever taught. The man who wins the morning wins the day, and the man who wins the day wins his destiny. Rise, act, conquer. Today, tomorrow, every morning, until the life you envision is no longer a dream, but the undeniable reality you have forged with your own hands, your own mind, and your own relentless will.